two other types of graphs, and this is the dot plot and the stem and leaf plot. Now, the dot plot what the dot plot does, it'll let us see our distribution. And we can infer the data values. Now this is different than, well, you could kind of infer the data values for a histogram. But remember, for a histogram, we had frequencies that gave us, the more frequencies were for a certain class, the taller the bar was. But in this case, you couldn't actually figure out what were the specific data values for a particular class. You just knew that one class was appearing more than, say, another. So here you can actually infer the specific data values. So let me give you an example. Let's say this is our data. So let's say we have something like this. So what we're going to do to make a dot plot, we're going to place the dot over each of these data values every time we see that data value in our data. So we have 240s, 2 dots. 341s, 3 dots over 41. 442s. A couple 43s. And 144. So this would be our dot plot. And so what we can do, we can see our distribution here. Roughly something like that. And we can infer the data values. So there's 3 dots over 41, so we must have 3 41s in our data set. There's 1 dot over 44, we must have 1 dot or 144, single 44, in our data set. So that's the idea of our dot plot. So the other one is this stem and leaf plot. And advantages to this, well, again, we can see our distribution. We actually see our data values. In the stem and leaf plot, the data values are actually there. Well, they're a little bit of a slight modification, so you could argue that we're still really inferring them. And then we put the data in ascending order, or the data is placed in order. So let me give you an example of how this works. So let's say this is our data. And let's say let's say we have this. Now, what we need to do is come up with a stem. And in this case, what I'm going to use for a stem is the leftmost digit in each data piece. So the leftmost digits, that's the tens place. So that's going to be the 4, the 5, and the 6 here in the tens place. So I'll use this as my stem. And then for my leaves, I'm going to use the ones place. And so the author makes a note here. What can help with working with these is to round excuse me. Rounding could help with setting this up. So let me put this together. So my stem is the 40, the 50, and the 60, the numbers in the tens place. So I now have my stem. Now I'm going to put together my leaves. Those are the ones place numbers. So I have two 40s. So 0, 0. Then a 2, and then a 3. And then there's another 43 and another 43. So 40, 40, 42, 43, 43, 43. Now for 50. There's a 1, 51, 52, 57, another 57, a 58, and a 59. And then for 60, there's a 61, a 62, and a 68. So for our distribution, we're going to get something kind of like this. And we can see our data, 40, 40, 42, 43, 43, 43, and so on. And so that's our stem and leaf plot. Now, I'm going to include one more plot. It's not really related to these, but it's something that kind of the last of the numerical plots that looks like we're going to look at. And it's called a time series. Now, the stem and leaf plot and the dot plot, we use those for numerical data, just like we did with the histogram. Same thing with time series. What this is going to show us is trends over time. It shows us trends over time. So what happens with this is, well, there's certain things, there's something like temperature, for example. We watch temperature and it changes over time. So let's say we're going to do this. So we're looking at temperatures in Roswell. And lately it's been cold. So let's say tonight, 12 a.m., 20 degrees Fahrenheit. 4 a.m., it's not much better, say 22. 8 a.m., definitely improved, say it's 27. 12 p.m., let's go 42, warmed up a bit. 4 p.m., 46. 8 p.m., 32, and then let's go with midnight again. We're back to, say, 23. So this is our temperature, and it's changing over time. So we have 12 a.m., 4 a.m., 8 a.m., 12 p.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m., 12 a.m. And let's see here. So we got, say, 20 degrees, 25, 30, 35, 40. So a little bit higher up here, 45. So at 12 a.m., we're at 20 degrees. So we're moving along here. This is our data. So at 4 a.m., we're at 22. So let's say right about there. 8 a.m., we're at 27. We'll say right about there. 12 p.m., 42. Way up here. 4 p.m., we're at 46. 8 p.m., 32, and 12 a.m., I think that's about 23. A little higher up. And then we connect these. And that's going to give us our time series plot. And so what it's showing us are how these numerical values for our data, these numerical data values, are changing with the flow of time. So that's it. That's for dot product. I'm sorry, dot product, dot plot, stem and leaf plot, and time series. If you have any questions, let me know.